just want to confirm this is definitely recording right now because I filmed an episode yesterday for 50 minutes and it wasn't recording. Hello guys, welcome back to my second episode of Little Miss Problems. Woo! I actually hate doing that intro, it makes me feel a bit cringe. I don't know if you've heard about the burnt toast theory, but it's basically how if you burn your toast in the morning on your way to work and you have to make more toast and then you're 5 minutes late and you're like, oh, I've burnt the toast, I'm going to be late, or oh, I missed the bus, and you're annoyed. The burnt toast theory is basically saying that the universe made you burn your toast that morning because if you hadn't burnt your toast and you left a few minutes earlier, you would have got hit by lightning. Not hit by lightning, but something bad would have happened. The reason I bring up burnt toast theory is because I always burnt toast theory everything. If something doesn't go my way or doesn't go to plan, I'm just like burnt toast. And I filmed it yesterday and I was so annoyed and I thought there's got to be a reason. I just think there's a reason for everything and it just seems to unfold. Like that's literally how my day-to-day life goes. If something doesn't work out on Monday, my whole life is a constant cycle of it's not the right time yet or it hasn't happened because of XYZ. Oh, it's supposed to happen tomorrow. Like I've got complete trust and faith in the timings of everything and the universe and my life. I was just sat in bed. It's currently 5 p.m. Let's check. It's 5:30 on Friday. I haven't had a shower. I haven't got dressed. I'm in my boyfriend's pajama bottoms. I'm home alone. I haven't got out of bed all day. My room's a mess. I was just sitting there rotting, feeling sorry for myself. And I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to come and film a podcast episode. I can't face the shower right now. I can't face tidying my room. I've been working since I opened my eyes and my brain is fried. So I thought I'd come on and do a podcast, and I thought burnt toast theory because if I'd filmed the episode yesterday, I would have decided to edit it, and editing my last clip, which was 10 minutes, my last episode was 10 minutes, I had so many errors in there and stutters, and I used the word like 500 times that I must have spent about 7 hours editing it. By the time I had finished editing it, I literally wanted to run into a brick wall. I'm glad I didn't film it yesterday because I would have tried to tackle that and I would have literally driven myself into a panic attack. So I've made myself a little green tea. I literally dropped this mug the other day, not a vibe. I'm sat on the floor, it's raining outside, but it's kind of nice. I've got the balcony door open. I'm having an ADHD day and the episode I wanted to film, or I did film but didn't record, was an ADHD episode, and I'm having an ADHD episode now, so I thought what better time than to talk about my ADHD experience when I'm literally in the middle of an ADHD rotting session. Also, side note, the amount of messages I have had, paragraphs off of people. I've had so much love and support on the pod already. Kind of crazy. Was not expecting that. One girl said it's giving safe space, and that's exactly what I was trying to give. So I'm really pleased about that. I had loads of responses to my little question box. So many people are sending in problems. So my hands are full right now. Also, sorry if I'm being sad and depressing. I feel like people are not going to listen to this. People are going to listen to this and feel crap. This isn't what this is supposed to be, but I promised authenticity, so I'm giving it. Yeah, so the topic I chose to answer for today's episode was ADHD. I'm really struggling and just figuring out if it's finally time to be medicated for it. I've actually had so many girls message me saying they think they might have ADHD, they're trying to get diagnosed, do I recommend medication? That's probably my most asked about question on my Instagram, and I feel like there is so much misinformation and such a lack of information on ADHD, especially in females. I think everyone's experiences can really vary with ADHD. ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You either have AD or HD, so you either have attention deficit disorder or hyperactivity disorder, or you have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You either have one or the other or both, and obviously I have both. So my symptoms for ADHD have been so prominent and obvious and clear throughout the duration of my life, but not once did it ever occur to me or did anyone ever mention that I might have ADHD. I literally, like this time last year, if someone would tell me they had ADHD, I would not resonate with that one bit. I would not think I had it. It just never occurred to me. I don't know what I thought ADHD was, but I didn't think it was me. I knew there was something wrong with me, and so did my schools. They literally tested me for everything. I qualified for extra time exams, but they could never pinpoint why. And the reasoning for that is because a lot of the ADHD testing was done on boys. and girls present really differently to boys. So even if I had been tested for ADHD when I was younger, unless I was really disruptive, which I wasn't, I probably wouldn't have been diagnosed. There's actually like a whole generation of women, or basically every woman that came before us, has been misdiagnosed with anxiety instead of ADHD. Anxiety is typically a side effect of ADHD symptoms, and loads of women have been put on anti-anxiety medication instead of ADHD. So how I came to find out about my ADHD, I was literally just speaking with my friend Dan, and he has ADHD, and he was speaking about some of the things he struggles with, and I was speaking about some of the things I struggle with, and he was like, oh, you might have ADHD. Maybe. Didn't think too much of it. Spoke to my mum that night. Yeah, I think you do. Spoke to my dad. Yeah, I think you do. Spoke to my grandparents. Yeah, I think you do. Spoke to all of my friends. Oh yeah, you've definitely got ADHD. So basically every single person that I mentioned that I feel like I could have ADHD to confirmed that I did. And I literally turned around to everyone and said, why on earth did no one think to tell me? I have been struggling my whole life and I thought it was my fault. And it wasn't, which is a really great thing to realise, but also bittersweet realisation that you have ADHD. I don't think you'd understand unless you had been diagnosed, but it's really nice to find out that it's actually not your fault, that you can't do things other people can do. But it's also really sad because you then just reflect on all of the times throughout your life that people have told you off for a symptom of a disability that you have rather than something you should be ashamed of and something you need to work on. But yeah, my ADHD journey started when I was born, basically. My symptoms were so prominent throughout school, it was not even funny. The teachers used to call me Little Miss Molly Daydream, hence Little Miss Molly. Also Little Miss Molly because my boarding card always says Little Miss Molly, so that's why I call myself Little Miss Molly. And, oh, Dolly Daydream, oh, she's in Molly's world again. Teachers have always reported how slow I was. Yeah, they thought I was dumb. They thought I was stupid. They made me feel like I was stupid anyway. I used to have my lessons in another classroom in year 2. And we had a year 2 PIPS and I got the second highest grade in the year. And they were like, oh my God, we're so sorry. I thought I was stupid when I left school. I did okay in my GCSEs. I did pass most of them, but I thought I was stupid. I was in bottom set for everything. I was always lumped in with the boys because they were also not doing their homework. But I really wanted to do my homework. This is what it's like for anyone who doesn't have it. I wanted to do my homework more than anything. I wanted to be clever. I wanted to get good grades. I really wanted to. I would literally sit up in bed. I can remember being 7 years old and being up at night feeling sick with anxiety that I hadn't done my homework. And that fear was just the worst thing in the world. But it didn't matter because no matter how scared I was or anxious or worried about my homework, none of that fear would ever motivate me to do it. School, I didn't really pay too much attention. I just thought I was lousy and I sort of just accepted myself as I was. My parents always told me I was great, so I just kind of got on with it. It was once I had left school and left sixth form. They do also say that people with ADHD are 100% more likely to become entrepreneurs. It was definitely prominent when I couldn't hold down a job, but again, I didn't think there was anything wrong. I didn't think I was struggling more than other people. I just thought I was a bit rubbish with jobs. It wasn't until I started to have my own businesses and I was just sick and tired of the stereotypes and the labels I'd been given that I realised that there was no way other people were finding things as difficult as I was. My friends would go to the gym or exercise, and I would want to exercise more than anything in the world. There would be nothing that would get me into that yoga class. I could go once or twice, I just couldn't sustain anything. Making my bed, I really wanted a tidy bedroom. Look how gorgeous my bedroom is. If you can't see, my bedroom's lovely. I wanted to make my bed every morning. My mum used to have a go at me if I didn't. I don't want to annoy my mum. I wanted to be on time for things. I wanted to be the girl, more than anything in my life, I wanted to be the girl who got up at 7 a.m, went to yoga, had a tidy room, got all her work done, and I just couldn't do it. It was just becoming clearer and clearer. God, it's really raining outside right now. I've got the balcony door open. It's really cozy. My symptoms were just getting worse the older I got. I do think my symptoms have actually continuously gotten worse since I was born. I feel like every year of my life, my ADHD symptoms have worsened. Even now, I feel like they get worse constantly, to be honest with you, which is annoying, but here we are. Yeah, it was having my own businesses that it just really, I just felt, I didn't know I had ADHD. I just thought I was crap and I hated myself for it. Oh, the fan keeps slipping. This is honestly the most BTEC It's ridiculous. Anyone who's listening on audio right now, my phone is. I've got a sticky thing on the back of my phone, and I've just stuck it to my balcony door. Even though there's a tripod right there, I've decided to use a sticky thing on the back of my phone and stick it to the door, and my phone is just gradually sliding down. So I'm sort of coming in on a slant. Sorry to anyone on YouTube. That's just part of it, though. I don't care. Like, that is the way I am. Yeah. So having my own businesses, I would generate the sales, but I couldn't send the orders out. And it didn't matter how much I cared about something, how much I wanted it, I couldn't do it. I was so tired all of the time. My mum wanted me to go for blood tests because she thought I was anemic. Because if I went outside for an hour, if I went out into the real world for an hour, I would have to come home and lay on the sofa for an hour and just like process being outside and all of the people and the noises. It's actually crazy to me that I never thought I had ADHD, or that I honestly believed that stuff was not a symptom of something and I believed it was my fault. I thought it was a flaw in me. How can you have a flaw in you like that? The symptoms were just holding me back more and more. I literally I tried self-help. I listened to every podcast on procrastination. I've read every self-help book. I've tried journaling. You name it, I've tried it. I actually wrote a list as well called Level 10 Molly, and I just wrote down all of the different things she did. She makes her bed every morning. She eats her 5 a day. She goes to yoga. She exercises. She spends time with her family. She texts people back. She sends out her orders on time. I'd have so many incredible ideas for my businesses as well, and I just couldn't action them. Like I wanted to do mugs. I have a £600 cricket machine in my studio and a lifetime supply of glass mugs. Did I ever make a mug? No, I didn't. Do you know how many failed business attempts I have got stock for in my studio? It's not even funny. I have got these dream catchers. I've got about 20 dream catchers that haven't been made, just dream catcher kits. I've had them since 2020. I was going to sell them as a product. I've never got them out the bag, and my boyfriend keeps trying to throw them away. Like, you're never going to do them. And I'm like, but I might need a dream catcher one day. So I'm just going to keep them just in case. Well, when everyone else told me they thought I had ADHD, I was so excited because at the thought that there would be something I could do about it, or the thought that it wasn't my fault and I wasn't lazy or slow or stupid, was just, or messy or unorganized or forgetful. Like, the thought that those things were not my fault and those labels I did not have to wear, I didn't have to feel that way about myself anymore. And more importantly, I didn't have to have people constantly reminding me of those things. It was just, I was so excited when I thought I could have ADHD. I went to the GP, told the woman I think I have ADHD, and she just laughed at me and said, talk about something else because, like, you're not getting in. The wait list is 7 years. And I was like, no, I don't care, like, give me the form. So I did all the forms at home, sent them off, but there was just, I wasn't going to wait 7 years. So we went down the private route. I went to Holly House in Buckhurst Hill. If anyone wants to know the name of my doctor, I could not recommend him enough. I know people who have gone down other routes with other companies or other doctors and not shared my experience. I'm not 100% putting that down to my doctor. I know that everyone's ADHD is different and everyone reacts differently to medication. But if you are considering the medication route, I strongly recommend my doctor. So yeah, basically we went to Holly House. I was on a wait list. I was on a cancellation list. I did a lot of the assessments online. I actually was diagnosed within my first appointment. I'd obviously done all of the research on ADHD before. So when I knew he was going to tell me I had combined, and we went in there and he was like, yep, you have combined ADHD. And I was like, yes. And he looked at me like I was crazy. But it was just because I knew I had it. And I was so relieved that it wasn't my fault. And then, oh my God, when he told me there was medication I could take, I could never ever put into words what that was like for me. Side note, I literally have just, sorry, my thoughts are just very impulsive. I just watched, my friend Sienna was around yesterday, shout out to Sienna. She put on what's it called? The Johnny Depp trial. What's the other lady called? I can't remember, but the Johnny Depp and his ex-wife trial, she put it on, and I was watching her on the stand. She's very, like, emotional and dramatic, and I feel like I don't know why I feel like I'm giving that right now. Amber Heard. I feel like Amber Heard when I'm talking about this because I'm so dramatic. Yeah, that's me. That's another ADHD symptom, though. Another thing that pairs with ADHD that I learned this myself within my own research is you can be HSP, so you're a highly sensitive person. It's actually a large proportion of the population RHSP. I think it's like 40% or something, like maybe 20%, but it's not a small number. And basically HSP means that you experience the world in a deeper way. So emotions, sensory stimulation, light, sound, physical touch, you feel those sorts of things or those senses in a much deeper way than the average person. So I do. Me and my boyfriend can be having an argument, and to him it's a small argument, but to me we're breaking up. My emotions are so much deeper, and I've always been told to calm down or I'm so dramatic, and it's not appropriate. I feel like the way I react to things, even when I'm talking about my ADHD medication like it was a cure for a terminal illness, that's not appropriate. I always try to water myself down and react to things in a more boring way, and people do sort of laugh at me a little bit. I'm just very theatrical and extra about things, but I'm not. That's actually how it is for me. If I'm sad, I'm really sad. If I'm happy, I'm really happy. I'm sensitive. If someone upsets me, it really upsets me, and I can't just ignore things. That was another thing I really struggled with in school. Oh, you're so dramatic. Oh, you're overreacting. You're so dramatic. No, I'm not. I'm not dramatic. I'm just feeling things in a deeper way to you. And I'm sorry that you are not as neurospicy as I am. And I wouldn't change that for the world. Like, yes, I am sad sometimes. I'm really sad, but I'm also really happy. I can be like, literally, I feel really happy right now. An hour ago, I was really depressed. But that happiness, I can feel like the excitement I can get out of the mundane day-to-day life, and like the gratitude, and it's all about tuning it in, honing it in, focusing it. Let's just say focusing it. It's about focusing it in the right ways. I got a gratitude journal like 2-3 years ago, and it changed my life. Sorry to keep saying that, but it did. I just started to appreciate everything. Like, I appreciated the sky. I would literally be driving in the car like, wow, like, this is incredible. And I do feel like my friends, I appreciate them so much. I really see people. I think that is because of my ADHD. People who are neurodiverse, which is people with ADHD, autism, dyslexia. I think there's other disabilities that can come into that. But people who are neurodiverse see the world differently. They think a lot of entrepreneurs and successful people are neurodiverse because it's actually such a skill to be able to see the world differently. And I think that's sort of the mindset I have with it. My path is harder because my calling is higher. Day-to-day life for me is a struggle most days. Basic, normal human things that other people can do naturally are a real battle for me. But the things I can do and the superpowers I have, for me, outweigh that. And I just need to remind myself of that. But that was the word I was looking for, channel it. It's about channeling it. I have been depressed. A few years ago, I was majorly depressed. I actually felt a bit suicidal, if I'm being completely raw. I was so depressed. I felt like I just wanted to go to sleep and not wake up. I was miserable. And I went to therapy, and it was good. It didn't completely change my life. I wasn't who I am now when I came out of therapy, but I was a hell of a lot better. I wasn't depressed anymore. And nothing in my life changed when I went to therapy. This is what I learned. Most impactful thing I took from therapy wasn't actually anything that went on within the therapy sessions. There was no groundbreaking revelations handed to me that I was expecting to have. The thing that stood out for me the most about going to therapy was the fact that nothing in my life had changed from when I started therapy to when I finished it. The only thing that had changed was my perspective and my outlook on it. That literally completely changed my life. And since I learned and realised that, mindset, perspective, outlook have been everything to me. And I think that's a huge reason why I've never been depressed again, because I really do nurture my mindset and my outlook. And the outlook I have now is really good. I'm really grateful for everything. My recording device ran out of battery. Swiftly continuing from where I left off, I just wanted to add a disclaimer. The ADHD medication did not make me not care what people thought about me. I think the ADHD medication, I was already on like a 2 or 3 year self-help journey. I think I first went to therapy when I was 20. I'm now 24. So that was basically when my personal development journey started. I'm like 4 years in now. And the ADHD medication helped me in that journey, along with the self-help books, the journaling, trying to be the best version of myself. So it wasn't necessarily the ADHD medication that did that, but it was definitely a huge help in me implementing those things and coming to those realizations. And equally, there are so many people out there who don't ever have ADHD medication and still become Stephen Bartlett. Stephen Bartlett literally got diagnosed with ADHD on his podcast, and he is not medicated. I meet a lot of people who aren't medicated with ADHD and they function well. It literally presents so differently in so many different people. The improvement it's added to my work rate is incredible, and it's made me able to do the things I've always wanted to do within work. My sort of concept of ADHD, which I think this is what I wish people knew. When you hear about someone with ADHD or you hear ADHD, you instantly think of the symptoms of they're always late, they're forgetful, they're messy, they're unorganized, or they're disruptive, they're loud. You never actually are told why people have ADHD. I wasn't even told. Even when I went to the doctors about it, that didn't come up in conversation. I had to go and do my own research. Well, hang on a minute. Why does this happen? Another symptom of ADHD is that you can be hyper-focused on things. You get hyper-fixated. I've literally read every book on World War II and the Holocaust. You just get fixated on the most random things and you go in on them, which is great for entrepreneurs. So I obviously am a social media manager, and I literally am obsessed with marketing, social media platforms. I'll become like the best in that because I'm so obsessed with it and I'm constantly learning. So obviously as soon as I found out I had ADHD, I was hyper fixated on the neuroscience. I actually got really into neuroscience. It's super interesting. If I wasn't with my boyfriend, I would like to marry a neuroscientist. So sorry, Aston. Yeah, so from a neuroscientific point of view, and again, please do not quote me on this because I have heard dribs and drabs of information on different podcasts, different websites online. You know how you hear something and then you rejig it in your head to something else, but this is my take on ADHD from a neuroscientific perspective. So basically at the front of your brain, you've got your prefrontal cortex, and that's where all of your conscious decision making happens. So your conscious thoughts, so your inner dialogue and everything that's going on in here. Basically, someone without ADHD, when they get the thought in their head to go and make their bed, their prefrontal cortex releases serotonin, and then they get the energy and motivation to go and make their bed. When they want to watch a TV or switch off their prefrontal cortex and just not think, no serotonin is released. When you have ADHD, that's the wrong way round. So when your brain is going, I need to make my bed, you don't have the serotonin release. So you don't get the motivation or the energy to do it. Instead, you just get 100 other thoughts coming into your head and distractions because you don't have the serotonin or push or motivation to make the bed. And I think that's a big reason why when people with ADHD try and watch films or try and switch off, they can't because the serotonin is released then, which is why I think we have really great ideas, but why we struggle so much to action them. A lot of people ask me as well if I felt like the ADHD medication affected my creativity. It didn't affect my creativity at all. It just made me able to implement the ideas I was having. My boyfriend was super, super against me going on medication. We had so many disagreements over it, and he was just had it in his head. Oh, it's going to ruin, it's going to change you. It's going to mess up your brain. It's going to da-da-da-da. And I was like, I'm going to listen to the qualified psychologist and ADHD specialist at Holly House I've just given thousands of pounds to, then my boyfriend who hasn't even probably Google searched it. No offense, Aston, I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I'm just not going to tell him about this episode. And my boyfriend actually said to me a few months in, he turned around, he was like, I am so sorry I told you not to take it because everyone could see the difference in me. Me before ADHD medication was like a zombie. I couldn't get up in the mornings. It was like, I don't even know what it was. It was like everything was heavy. Everything was hard. Every single thing was hard. To get up and get dressed was hard. I couldn't do my work. I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate. I think there are definitely other ways you can treat ADHD. I don't think there's any miracle cure. I definitely would recommend the medication. I would not change the fact that I'm on it. I can't up my dose because when I up my dose, it feels too strong. So I'm just having to accept that the medication isn't going to make me make my bed in the morning. I'm going to actually have to implement a healthy routine and make the active effort to do that. But again, for me right now, where I'm at in my mindset and where my priorities are, which is why I'm probably not making my bed, because I never have a problem with my workload. Because for me, work is my priority. So I think if you're messy and unorganized and your priority on the medication is to not be messy and unorganized, then maybe you won't be. It's just that I think maybe all of my, I don't think this is scientific at all, but I think that maybe all of my motivation and serotonin from my ADHD medication is just channeled into work right now. So everything else just goes out the window. And I think that's just something, I'm never going to give up on that. Like I will do it. I think that's just something I need to put the effort into and work on myself when I'm ready. And I'm just not ready right now. I'm trying every day to get there. Like there's post-it notes all around my room right now to try and remind me to have a routine and stuff. And I think I've just got a lot to sort out within my business right now. I need to organize the hell out of that. And hopefully once I've mastered that and I have more time, I can think about making my bed in the morning and washing my hair. Yeah, I just get really overwhelmed still. I can't make my bed, but it's not even I can't make my bed and I don't care. I think some people with ADHD don't care and that's fine, but I really want to make my bed, and if it's not made, I feel like I'm a pile of crap and I'm useless and I can't do anything, and then I get upset and annoyed. And then I have HSP, so I'm extra sensitive, so things like that make me way more upset than a normal person would ever be about not making their bed. So it's a real roller coaster, I'm not going to lie. It's ups and downs constantly. If you read my journal, you would be mind blown. Monday, I am having the worst day of my life and everything is ruined. And Tuesday, I have just won the lottery and I'm so grateful and lucky for everything. I don't even know if I have covered half of what I wanted to cover in this, but I don't want to have really long, super long, annoying episodes, because if you've got ADHD, you're not going to want to listen either. To that long. But yeah, basically I'm going to leave it there on the ADHD stuff. If there's anything I haven't covered, I'll obviously continuously do episodes on ADHD. I hope that some of this information was helpful. If there's anything I haven't missed or you've got any further questions, please let me know, because I'll reply to you on DM. And it would also be helpful to me to have some more questions if I did miss anything, so I can do another episode for everyone else. But yeah, guys, thank you. I'm going to leave it there on the ADHD stuff. I'm feeling a lot better now. I need to take my next tablet in a minute. I need to have a shower. I need to wash and blow dry my hair. My friend Frankie's having a party tomorrow morning for her boyfriend Carly, and I can't wait. Not tomorrow morning, tomorrow like 12. I have not been to a party or socialized in a really, really long time. That's another thing I need to get into, but I'm not going to today because I'm sure I bored the life out of you, but I'm also crap. This year, I'm just doing work, and all of my friends don't know what the hell is wrong with me, and I'm sure I've made everyone feel like I hate them because I make no effort with anyone and I never pick up the phone and I just want to sit in here and rot. But when I have made it, I will buy a yacht and I'll bring all my friends on the yacht and they can shake their asses. But if you're one of my friends and I haven't answered you for a few weeks, or you feel like I'm missing in action, I do still love you. And don't worry, just wait. I'm doing this for you too, okay? So what's the time? Let's just talk about what I'm going to do and then I'm going to leave you guys alone. Okay, it's Friday, 5th of July, it's 6:30. I am going to not sit and rot in my bedroom, and I'm going to do that for you guys as well, because anyone else who is thinking of sitting and rotting in their bedroom today, or next time you're thinking about it, it's fine to have a couple of hours. Don't sit there and feel crap. I'm not going to do that today, and I always do. And because of you guys, for you and for myself, I'm not going to now. I'm going to get up, I'm going to tidy my room, I'm going to have a shower, I'm going to tidy the house, I'm going to make myself some girl dinner, maybe I'll have a little Aperol, I'm going to give myself a hug, I'm going to do some meditation and yoga. I did some meditation the other night before bed, and I slept like a baby. I used my crystal sound bowl, it's really good. I'm heavy. I slept like a baby and I woke up feeling really good the next day, and I'm hoping if I do this podcast and if anyone else is struggling to get into a routine, maybe we'll try and do it together. And I'm going to use the podcast to hold myself accountable, and I can't do things for myself. If it's for someone else, I can. So maybe this is actually all I needed, and I'm going to do this for you guys. I'm going to prove I'm not going to let the ADHD stop me. I'm not going to be a rotting mess. I'm going to become level 10 Molly again, just to show everyone that you can still do that with ADHD. Oh, this is Keith, by the way, if anyone can see. Keith, come here. Come here. Oh, I've got to show you one quick trick so my dog can sing. I'm so sorry if you've listened this far, but I've got to show you my dog singing. This is a Little Miss Problems exclusive. I hope you're ready for this. He likes to sing to EastEnders theme tune and Swan Lake, House of Pain, Jump Around. He's got a very acquired taste. Good singing! Good job! You're so good at singing! He is my son. He's my best friend in the whole wide world. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go and have a good Friday night and stop rotting because of you and for you. If you listen this far, I love you. I hope this was helpful. Yeah, next time you think about rotting, make yourself a green tea and it's going to be okay. We can get through this together. Okay, love you guys. Thanks for listening.